When I think about the Morrill Act, I'm floored at how remarkable an idea it was.
The Morrill Act was a piece of legislation signed into law July 2nd of 1862, so we're celebrating the 150th anniversary of that legislation this year. Senator Justin Smith Morrill wanted individuals to achieve the benefits of higher education, but he also wanted this focus on the practical, because he wanted individuals who had attained a higher education to be able to address some of the challenges that our society faced at that point in our history.
The Morrill Act was a piece of legislation passed by the United States Congress and signed into law by Abraham Lincoln, and its primary purpose was to create institutions of higher education to provide high-quality educational opportunities for the sons and daughters of working people.
Educational opportunities in the areas of agriculture, the mechanical arts, and military science.
There was a real interest on the behalf of the U.S. government to help a broader group of individuals achieve a higher education and then open the doors to the opportunities that might permit.
John Purdue was very, very much interested in popular education. He was a businessman in Lafayette. He was a well-respected leader within the community.
John Purdue proposed to the Indiana General Assembly that this new class of university, if you will, ought to be located in this region of Indiana, and that he would donate land and some money to help endow and get the university started, with the understanding that it would be named in his honor and he would be a lifetime member of the Board of Trustees.
He very much believed in the development of Indiana, and this was an opportunity to enhance that development by training young people.
Today there are 110 land-grant universities in the U.S. Annually enroll about 1.8 million students and graduate about 370,000 students.
32% of the engineering graduates in the United States in recent years have graduated from land-grant institutions. So a huge impact on just the numbers of people being educated in engineering.
I maintain that the mission of the Morrill Act is as valid and as important today in society as it was in the 1860s and 70s.
The land-grant idea is one that's still very much alive at Purdue.
The mission of these land-grant type universities is applicable today in different kinds of ways. Things like environmental sustainability, energy, and on how can one harness technology in these kinds of spaces. The solar decathlon home was a great example of bringing all of these various kinds of technologies together.
Here's an important societal problem. How do we create affordable housing that uses renewable energy and drives down and is a more sustainable living space? So it's a very, very important societal issue. And now let's bring Purdue's research talent to bear on, again, addressing that particular issue. And let's engage students in the process.
The two things I found most interesting about the Purdue House first, collaboration of over 400 students from 6 different colleges. And so really interdisciplinary effort with advice from faculty members, but really just enormous engagement by students.
The EV Grand Prix is another example of a new technology. The EV Grand Prix was a contest of students building karts to race each other, but always with the idea of advancing the technology of electric vehicles.
The students are really working again on how do you make an electric vehicle work. They partner with companies on batteries. It's a huge design experience. And we're hoping to be seeing biofuels Grand Prix and just a whole mix of where do you take this, because the student creativity is a really important part of this.
Thinking about the 150th anniversary of the Morrill Act and looking forward, I think it's fair to say the concept may be just as or even more important than it was in 1862.
I'm firmly convinced that the mission of these institutions is as valid 100 years from now as it was 100 years ago. The problems are going to be different, the solutions will be different. There will continue to be high need for problem solvers and great policy makers and decision makers and leaders of the future.